Welcome to Plan9Crunch. Today we're going to talk about a crazy movie from the 60s which starred Arch Hall Jr. called Wild Guitar. The best way I could describe Wild Guitar, it's a Damon Runyon-esque movie that isn't very good but has all the heart of a Damon Runyon tale. Except it's on the West Coast, not the East Coast. Wild Guitar is a teen rocker movie, very low budget. Arch Hall Sr., who used to be a kind of an extra bit part actor in the 30s and 40s, directed the films for his son, who had a brief, musical career in the 1960s. Wild Guitar has this kid coming from the sticks to make it big in Los Angeles. And I really like the opening sequence. We're going to show it to you because it's pretty darn good filmmaking from Mr. Hall Sr. Oh, by the way, this film was directed by Ray Dennis Steckler, cult director, who we talked about on Plan9Crunch a lot. But let's start that first scene, Jack, of Arch Hall, kid couldn't have been more than 17 or 18, going on a long journey to Hollywood. This will take a little while, but sit back and enjoy it. I know you're going to say I'm crazy, but I almost think this scene is almost a little bit like an extended scene that Martin Scorsese might do. And Scorsese would do it better, don't get me wrong. But I do like the ambition behind this opening scene. He's on his motorcycle going down there. They say Los Angeles is 380 miles away. He wipes out there, got his guitar behind him. You know, Arch Hall Jr.'s group was called Arch Hall Jr. and the Archers. And I've actually told Alexa to play in a couple of songs coming up. William Waters and Cass Flagg were pseudonyms for Arch Hall Sr., who plays a dishonest music promoter agent. And Cass Flagg was the name that Ray Dennis Steckler used when he acted. And Steckler plays a hood for the guy. They said Nancy Czar there. Nancy Czar is an interesting person who had a brief career in the 50s, 60s as kind of a beach girl, maybe. She was in a couple of Elvis Presly movies. So now here he is, and I love the scenes of 1960s Hollywood here. Capitol Records. Nicholas Merriweather was also Arch Hall Sr. He uses 3 different names in this film as actor, director, and writer. Joseph C. Maskelly was a pretty talented director of photography. Wilman Zsigmond is the assistant director. Zsigmond went on to win Oscars as a cinematographer later in his career. This is called Stealing Shots, and I love it. Low-budget people will just go to these cities and grab shots. Here's Arch Hall and Hollywood, seeing it all and everything. I don't know what Arch Hall looks like. He's not the greatest looking kid in the world, but he does have a distinctive face. He's also in a movie called Ega, which is a lot of fun too. And he is in a movie called The Sadist, which is a classic. And it's probably his best role. Oh, look at this. I love this little scene where, the yokel comes in, this thing breaks open and everything. This is probably film. I'm sure this isn't stolen, the guy right there. But I was reading the interview where they said they just filmed him walking across the street. They're going to take us later to Grauman's Chinese Theater, but we can stop now, Jack. Now. Okay, Arch Hall Jr.'s name is Bud Eagle, which is a great name too for a movie. He doesn't have any money at all. And he goes into a diner where there's a proprietress with a heart of gold. This is a very Damon Runyon. I'll say that for the 3rd time. Lots of heart in this movie. It's a bit clunky and hokey, but you can catch the feeling in it. He goes into this diner and he's only got 15 cents. So he gets a donut, I guess, and a coffee. And then he finds out he has to pay 1 cent tax. Well, I'm going to show you this next scene just to introduce Nancy Czar, who is his co-star in this movie, the girl he falls for. Her name is Vicky. Let's go. There's Nancy Czar.
Well?
She was a world-class
What'll it be?
Rumor has it she was on the Olympic team.
Donut and coffee,
I haven't been able to confirm that. You'll see later she really was a world-class skater.
You forgot the tax.
He needs to pay
A
tax.
penny for the governor.
Oh, I didn't know about the tax.
Go on, keep it. Who needs freeways?
She's a little confused. I think it's the gasoline tax that goes to the freeways. I think.
Oh?
Could you do me a favor? I can't eat this, and well, Marge,
Everyone has a
she
heart of
raises
gold
a
in
fuss
this
if I
movie except
don't.
the bad
She
guys.
hates to see anything go to
Cass
waste.
Flag
And especially since it's
Archel.
already paid for. Honest, I just can't.
Okay, so let me give a little background on what happens in this movie. The young lady is a dancer, a wannabe dancer, and she's trying to get into show business, and she gets to go on a show, okay? That's a show where you come and watch and kids watch you and dance or sing, and she suggests that Bud Eagle, the Archel Jr. character, come with her. And so the young lady dances pretty well, and everybody's clapping for her. And then a guy is supposed to sing, but he has like stomach problems, and he can't sing. I don't know if he just froze or he really did have distress. So she pushes Bud Eagle in there to sing. And he's very nervous at first. I'm not going to show you this scene, but he's very nervous. He stumbles and everybody's laughing. But then he sings and everyone loves him. And the character, the mogul, who's very corrupt, played by his father, eventually signs him to a contract, all right? And Ray Dennis Steckler, who you'll later will show a scene where you'll see him briefly, you'll recognize his face if you're a cult genre fan, is his henchman, who, you know, just pushes people around and sort of his muscle. So Bud Eagle becomes a star, and they don't want him dealing with this girl. They don't want her involved. They want to control him completely. I want to show you a scene that's very interesting where Archel Jr. sings a song, I think it's called Vicky, and it is called Vicky, and you're going to see a dancer. And if you're a cult genre fan, you're going to recognize this dancer. She's Carolyn Brandt, who was married to Ray Dennis Steckler, and also in a lot of his movies. Carolyn Brandt is still alive today. When Severin released the Steckler collection, she did some publicity for it. She's a very angular beauty. She's a very beautiful woman, but she has a kind of unique beauty. So let's watch Bud in this scene singing Vicky, and you'll see briefly Carolyn Brandt dancing, is uncredited in this movie, by the way. Let's go.
You don't say anything. Just start lining up those jobs like mad. We're gonna hit this town like a...
I love the way this is supposed to signify becoming rich and famous and things like that, money pouring in. They set up fake teenage fan clubs for him, but he becomes a huge success in this movie. So he's racing away from the fans right now, getting into that expensive car. Like I said, this movie is very almost fairy tale-like. And there's the girl, you know, who he doesn't see anymore, and she's sort of pining for him. Here's the Vicky song, and you'll see Carolyn Brandt dancing right now.
I love you.
Can't get over that hair Archel Jr. has. He hasn't in all his movies like that. Archel also made a Western too. The Sadist, which is a horror film he made. No, let's watch Carol the Red Dance right now. He made Egon too. There's almost a bizarre quality in this movie sometimes. It's very surreal. All these people are supposedly watching. I don't think they're in the same room really. And of course, good-hearted girl dancer there. He is watching on TV. You can actually hear Vicky, like I said, in Alexa if you ask for it sometimes.
Why can't we make up? We can have
The pathos is pretty heavy in this movie, over the top.
If you don't love me, I was a fool.
I guess imagine if our child Junior was on American Idol today.
Oh, Vicky, you are my love. Vicky.
Okay, Jack, we can probably go away from this now.
Oh, Vicky.
Now, what happens after this scene is Vicky, the girl, played by Nancy Czar, comes running over to him, and they start making out and becoming boyfriend and girlfriend. Now, his manager and the henchman Stake, that's Cash Flag, do not want that to happen. Now, I'm about to show you the most bizarre scene in this movie. And there's an actress named Virginia Broderick. I don't think she's in any other movies, but she's hired by them. Her name is Daisy. And she's supposed to get Bud Eagle to stop thinking about his girlfriend. It's a bizarre scene. I'll just let it go right now, okay?
Hi. Kid, this is Daisy. She's gonna
This
teach
is
you how to
Daisy.
swing.
Great.
Hi.
This is so campy. If we ever do a femme fatale in Z movies,
So,
we have to
Scotty
include Virginia
boy.
Broderick. She comes on very strong.
Hey, Tiger, is this a new tune?
I'd love to interview Virginia Broderick if we ever find her. And you can see Mr. Bud Eagle is not too impressed. I love the music that goes with it too. It's dark on the waves is just classic. This is another actor, a guy that the promoter has ruined his life already. He's there. And they sort of cut away briefly
What are you doing here?
with the henchman Stake talking to him.
What did you tell Bud?
Nothing.
Come on, you're going home.
I don't want to go home.
And you show
you're
some
going home.
action, you know,
Make
the
you change your
gun and
mind?
everything.
Yeah. Same old steak.
It's just supposed to tell you the evils of the music industry
Here
and
we
its
go again.
exploiters right now. Now here's poor Bud still running away from Daisy here by the pool now. This is just incredible. The Stake is getting rid of the has-been, who's been an alcoholic, who's been destroyed by the manager and everything. None of these actors were great, but this is a movie's got heart. Okay, Jack, we can go away from this now. I don't want to give away the plot of Wild Guitar, of course. It's a movie. I'd like to know how it did in theaters. I know it played in theaters. It was geared toward teenagers watching a singer, and and dancing and just a moralistic tale of overcoming the big bad business honchos in the music industry. As I mentioned, Nancy Czar plays Vicky, and I'd like to know more about her. There's a book McFarlane put out. What's that book called again? I found a little part of it on the internet. I should tell you because it's only fair. Drive-In Dream Girls, a galaxy of B-movie stars for the 60s. From McFarlane. It came out, I don't know when it came out, 2003, I guess. They have a little section on Nancy Czar. And so Nancy Czar was a world-class skater. And you'll see that in a second. Rumor has it, like I said, she was in the Olympics. I don't know if that's true. Another rumor I heard years ago was that she missed a plane that was going to a competition that crashed. So she was very fortunate. She did not really achieve a lot of stardom, but she had more than just movie as a career. She was in 2 Elvis Presly films. One was called, let me see what it was right now, Girl Happy in 1965. Remember, this movie's made in 62. And she was also in Spin Out, which I think is 1968. And she also starred in another Arch Hall Senior movie that was called, where is it? What's Up Front, which you can watch on YouTube. And she plays a customer of door-to-door bra salesman Bob in the movie. It's kind of crazy little film. According to this book, there's a film called Winter a Go-Go in 1965 where she shows a lot of skill, where she shows some comedy. She plays Gloria Jones, an amorous but addle-brained blonde, who is one of a bevy of college co-eds hired by Danny and Jeff in the movie. Just wanted to give some time to Nancy Czar, who doesn't get much ink or talk about anymore. Her career was basically over by the early 70s, but they were smart enough in this movie to show her ice skating and show off her talents. Let's watch that really quick.
Besides, the rink is closed and I can get in any time. I have the key.
I get the feeling that Art spends more time on his hair than she does on hers, to be honest.
Oh, sure. I used to go skating all the time.
And then the comedy of him trying to skate. And then you'll see some really world-class skating with that hair.
So you used to go skating
And
all
they're
the
not
time,
using a double.
huh?
It's clear. They don't
I
have the
thought
money
you
for
meant
it.
roller skating, not
But
these.
she's doing it.
Silly, why didn't you tell me you couldn't skate? Watch this.
Watching her skate right now reminds me of Carol Heiss, who was, I think, a world champion or something in the big budget film Snow White and the Three Stooges that was made in the late 50s. Look at that work. This is a world-class skater. I do think that Nancy Czar is actually a better actress than Carol Heiss, despite the fact she's in a micro-budget wild guitar film. So if you want to see, it's easy to find Girl Happy or Spin Out, you can see Nancy Czar in those films also. I think we can probably go away from that. Wild Guitar is a very fun movie to watch. I love that these films still exist and you can find them. I think Nicholas Winding Refn, who's the European filmmaker who's restored a lot of Andy Milligan films, also did a restoration of Wild Guitar. And perhaps you can find it on Amazon or something like that, or his website. Wild Guitar is a good film. It was released by Fairway International, which was the company name of Arch Hall Sr., who really made quite an effort in the 1960s of low-budget films, particularly starring his son. His son was also in a film called The Choppers when he was very, very young, maybe like 15 or 16. He's in EGA, which is got some immortality thanks to Mystery Science Theater. He's, like I mentioned, he's in a Western film, whose name I can't recall right now. I'm sorry about that. But he's also in The Sadist, which is today considered a classic of the genre. He plays a psychopath with a moronic girlfriend. And some people on their way to watch a Dodger game stop, and he terrorizes them for like an hour. And what's interesting about The Sadist, we should talk about it sometime, is it's done in real time. like the Western movie with Gary Cooper, High Noon. And as Arch Hall's sadistic character is terrorizing these people, they're listening on the radio to the pregame for the Dodger game. And it's really chilling to think that life is going on while these people may be facing death at any minute from these pair of psychos. Anyways, Wild Guitar, you can see it on YouTube or Internet Archive. We hope you've enjoyed this little looking at it. Remember, it has that really classic femme fatale scene with Daisy, as Ray Dennis Steckler says. I don't want to give away the ending. You'll enjoy the movie. It's only about 80 or 85 minutes. And so this is Plan9Crunch. We're at Plan9Crunch.com on the blog. We're at Plan9Crunch at YouTube and TikTok. And we're at Plan9Crunch podcast and blog at Facebook. I'm Doug Gibson. Thank you for watching, and that's a wrap. And that little sound effect was brought by Sophie.